talking a lot recently about scaling my business. That's what I'm thinking about, but that does not mean you do every single thing in one day. I'm still just trying to build the foundation. I have a very good setup right now where I'm making probably more money than I deserve, working as much as I want to, with quite a bit of active time to where I can make pretty, I would say, strategic moves to hopefully pursue scaling to, a few pretty high paying clients to maybe 10 or 20 of them by the end of the year. I would say my goal by the end of the year is if I had 10 clients exactly like I do now, then I would be in a very good situation. And I really only think I would need probably 7 people on the team to do that. They would be much higher skilled people. There would be some low skilled labor involved there. Maybe not even 7 people. That might be including some low skill labor. But that's where my mind is at right now. And so I don't even know how many months are left until next year. What, like 11? So 12, or I mean 11 or 10. Let's say I think that's pretty good. I would virtually get one extra client a month. I think that'd be much more skewed to the end of the year because everything has a bell curve to it that I've seen. I would think it would be more like I gain a client every 4 months, and then it's 2 clients in a month, and then it's 4 clients, and then maybe 6. I think that's a very realistic way because with scaling, my only concern right now is that the quality remains the same because right now, every single person that I take on gets shown exceptionally good results. I've honestly been slightly surprised by the results recently with how good they've been. So because of that, my name is really getting out there in a lot of different aspects. So I'm very strategic with who I choose to work with. So I can help them to a fairly high degree. And we can define some sort of terms. There is someone that I'm considering working with. They have a fund, a back-end fund, which is just like a real estate fund, kind of like Kenny. But they don't have a very large channel. They're not my ideal clientele. But they said that I kind of said, what if the pay structure, instead of me getting a percentage of the fund, because that obviously doesn't make sense. Usually, if you guys don't know the way I structure my deals, is I will take it depends on the person. I will take around 20% of the additional profits that I can generate for someone over what they are currently making. Of course, with Kenny, I'm obviously not doing that because he's making tens of millions of dollars per month. But my goal with Ken wasn't to make a lot of money, but learn how to make a lot of money. And that's exactly the position that I'm in. So with this person, I said, what if, because you have such a high ticket product and an accredited investor for you can literally send you a few $1,000,000 when you're raising money, why don't we structure something like how many accredited investors I can get onto your email list? Because that is exceptionally valuable to you. That is a defined metric that we can get from me. And then it comes down to just executing on that. How many are you guys getting right now? So when I come in, how many more do you guys get per month? And then I will get paid some sort of delta upon that we can kind of figure out. Because I know I'm not going to spoil this because I don't think it's disclosed information, but without even really I haven't even taken over Ken's funneling stuff. The accredited investors has skyrocketed just because of the natural increase in everything else that I've taken over. And I know that I could literally quadruple that in a 6 to 12 month time period for Ken. And I think I could do a lot more than that for someone that's in a smaller position. So for me, that's a pretty interesting metric to look at. Everyone that I work with has such different business models though. There's a very particular niche that I'm looking at, and I'm trying to stick with that. And then you broaden out in the future. Me and my buddy were talking about because he has a Bitcoin channel. His name's Luke, actually. He's always in the comments. He's a genius. He was saying, so we were kind of bouncing ideas back and forth because we were talking about the TAM, or total addressable market cap, of Bitcoin right now for people who are interested in it, for people who are potentially going to find it. And I think we both came to a pretty clear conclusion that the best way to go about growing that is first try and become the #1 player in that Bitcoin niche, and maybe mess around with trying some broader categories, but still cultivating that particular niche. And then what you would do is you would then open up the floodgates and go slightly broader once you became the #1 person in that marketplace. That's usually the way that you need to start, how most businesses start. Which is why I would recommend, if for other people who ask me about starting a channel, I say do the opposite of me. I would niche down, try and become the #1 player in that niche, see what the top players are doing, try and make that your own, not just steal their idea, but replicate it and make it better. And then what I would do, if you can become the #1 player in whatever niche that is, then you start to broaden out. That way you have your super core fans, and you would still, when you broaden out, you still have that really good funnel section. So that's how most businesses operate, which is why I'm starting super niche. I work with people that have a business with a very large YouTube channel already, and then what I'm doing is I'm just taking over everything, hoping to grow their business even higher. And the quality is very, very high right now. So how do I make sure I keep that? Especially because right now I don't necessarily care about the money too much. I definitely want to. I want to make a lot more money, but I'm not rushing it. That's one of the biggest mistakes I've made in the past over and over again. I will rush these numbers. I'll say, oh shoot, I want to make $10,000 this month. And then I can make $10,000 that month, but I end up messing something else up because I take on more work than I can handle. And then I think scaling slowly is a little bit more meticulously. I don't know. Ken said, dude, just scale bigger, faster, harder, and figure it out. So I'm going against what Kenny said. I'm going to get a very good night's rest tonight. I guess the Super Bowl's on today. I didn't even know that. Anyway, goodbye, and I'll see you tomorrow, I guess.